Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Fantastic news. Julian Assange is a free man. Finally. But there's a big dent into what the whistleblowers and people like us can do and say. Why? Because this shows the United States of America could come after you, and I'm talking about the government, come after you wherever you are, maybe except a few strong countries. Let's say Russia, China, Iran, Israel, and North Korea, and that's it. It seems like all the other countries will be pushed back, kept under a thumb in order to, I don't know, extradite or being prosecuted if you say the wrong things, even if true. So what happened? I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, I know how to count. 6 articles ready for you. Julian Assange is welcomed at Sputnik News. Well, Julian Assange pleaded guilty. He's going to have a criminal history in the United States of America. Now, I will tell you a personal story regarding an investigation. A job investigation, not a criminal investigation, that I was part of. And what happened to that one? So let's start with the first article. The first article that I have here, it's from ABC News. We're going to find out what exactly is in that plea deal. And not only, and if Assange should have done it or not. ABC News, this is from yesterday. I wanted to make this video yesterday, but I wasn't incapable of coming in front of a camera. I was held back by certain issues. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange expected to plead guilty, avoid further prison time as part of deal with US. So this is the first article, June 25, 2024. And it says here, the Justice Department has reached an agreement with Julian Assange to plead guilty to a single felony count of conspiring to unlawfully obtain and disseminate classified information in a deal that is expected to resolve the WikiLeaks founder's charges in the US with no further time in prison, according to court documents unsealed Monday evening. So, the deal is expected to effectively bring to an end or to a, Jesus Christ, I was wondering why the goggles are not on, to a year-long legal battle by the US to prosecute Assange over the publishing of classified military and diplomatic materials that tell us the truth, things that otherwise we would not know, and we should know certain things, that were leaked by former American soldier Chelsea Manning in 2010, including some of that showed possible war crimes committed by American forces in Iraq. Do you have any doubt? I don't have any doubt. Why? People at war. If you think that this military or this army or that army or that army doesn't commit war crimes, well, I don't know. Maybe you should read more. Now, they all say we didn't. Only the enemies, the ones who lost, committed war crimes. We, the good who won, always write history. And the same thing will happen if the roles will be reversed. Why? That's the way we are, more or less. We're gonna cave to pressure faster or easier or harder or later. But sooner or later, some people die for their convictions. And I will tell you, as I said, my experience. I didn't die, but hey, maybe I died inside a few times. You know what that means? Have you ever died inside of sadness or desperation, and then you came back to life different, better, stronger? Well, if that happened to you, then we are in the same club, and I'm pretty sure it happened to you, unless you are weak. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right, so let's see here. According to a letter posted by U.S. prosecutor, Assange will plead guilty in U.S. federal court in the Northern Mariana Islands and is expected to return afterward to Australia, which he is right now on his plane to land in Australia. I will talk about that too. Indicating prosecutors will not be requesting a judge sentence him beyond the term of time served for the 5 years he has spent in London's Balmarsh prison fighting extradition. That was garbage. Anyway, let's move to the next article, which comes from Sputnik 7 hours ago. I'm trying to go a little bit, in a, one by one. I can't remember the word right now. When you start with the first, second, third, and I freaking, then even in Romania it doesn't come. Pursuit of Assange shows every citizen on the planet, and quote, subject to U.S. persecution, not prosecution, persecution. The US government's hunting of Julian Assange, an Australian journalist, demonstrate the vast power of the Western hegemon. Yes, with the exception of a few countries where you can ask for asylum or say, hey, help me because these guys are trying to hang me, then just a few. WikiLeaks founder, chronological way, that's the word I was bang trying to find it. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange published a series of leaked documents that implicated the United States in everything from foreign political meddling to surveillance of allies and adversaries. I would like to know that, and I guess they would like to know that as well. But they all stayed like, oh, we're not gonna say anything. The boss threw a fit, so we gotta, hey, we don't like Assange. Yeah, he's the bad dude right here. Yeah, okay, thank you. So the same, he was aided in his efforts by the US Army whistleblower Chelsea Manning, who exposed gross violation of international law in Iraq and Afghanistan, and Edward Snowden, an NSA contractor who revealed the security agency's sweeping spying capabilities. All legal, mind you. All right, that's the next one. Let's start with next article coming from Sputnik again, and this is from 19 hours ago, before he got on that plane. Assange is welcome to return to Russia Today, not to Sputnik, my bad. Russia Today broadcast. Sputnik and RT editor-in-chief said. So Sputnik as well. So let's see what Ms. Simonian says. Margarita Simonian, the editor-in-chief of Sputnik's parent media group Rossiya Segodnya, and Russia Today told Sputnik Radio that she would love to see the WikiLeaks founder back on air. There's a little thing. Maybe in this deal, he can't. Gag orders, like Trump had gag orders in that garbage trial in New York. He couldn't speak about anything, not only about the trial, okay, so he was gag order. Why? Remember Nuremberg trials? Yeah, when we hanged Nazi criminals, war criminals, remember? With a new crime that we came up with, which is, remember, if you look into the law, you can't really, if I remember correctly, you can't really convict something on a new crime that you just invent now for something or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert whatsoever in that kind of department, but I'm not a baboon either. So probably he's going to have a gag order in talking about his experience and everything else. Probably he's going to fly low, because otherwise the Americans will send their CIA to talk to him. No, I'm just kidding. Simonian expressed hope that one day she would be able to talk to Assange again, and that he will be able to return to active life. And I'm quoting, I hope that he will return to his active life, and I hope that he will return to us, Russia Today, on air. If you remember, before all this happened to him 12 years ago, back in 2012, he hosted an RT program, Russia Today program, a beautiful, brilliant program. We will be happy to bring him back. Now, if Assange somehow gets to Russia like Snowden, he might be able to do that and say, you. But as of now, it goes to Australia, which is even worse than these guys. Why? See what kind of mandates Australia implemented in the name of the good. Their government, and New Zealand was even worse. So I don't think it goes to freedom. I think it goes to a very much controlled freedom. Next one comes again from Sputnik. It is from 19 hours ago, so my chronology went like, ooh. Assange plea deal could leave dent in press of freedom. This is something that a whistleblower's friend said, which is, be careful. If you do certain things, you bring the truth. They will prosecute from bringing the truth because you did it and that harmed us, the common good, the government who control nobody in charge of us because we vote for them. The bureaucrats and all those guys are voting in the office, right? No. So, it says here, the plea deal for Julian Assange that allowed him to walk out of the UK prison, and I'm quoting, raises some serious concerns regarding the effects of the free press. Andy Vermont, editor-in-chief for Belgian Idealgazette.be, Belgium, told Sputnik the plea bargain may require Assange to, and I'm quoting, compromise or give up some basic rights such as free speech, remember what I told you, mobility, can't travel to Russia, or ongoing monitoring, which is a little, how do you call it, at your ankle. Maybe not that. Maybe just, he's going to be under surveillance. I guarantee you that. Monitoring, which means he's going to be surveilled where he goes, when he jerk offs, when he takes a pee, when he, all those things, you know. All right, so monitoring, tether is the one that you put, they attach to criminals when they release them on parole, right? And probation? No, parole. It depends. So, which can be regarded as concessions that erode the principles of free press freedom, said the human rights defender. So this is a next article from CNN, and this is right here from what? 2 minutes ago? Not 2 minutes ago, 2 hours ago. Julian Assange ends stalemate with US exchanging guilty plea for his freedom. Well, that's his, I mean, after so many years being, and there is a video here with Julian Assange climbing, getting on a plane and flying to Australia, kind of freedom, mate. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange walked free for the first time in 12 years after a US judge signed off on his expected plea deal on Wednesday. All right, so he says the prosecution of Julian Assange is unprecedented in the 100 years of the Espionage Act, Polak told reporters. Mr. Assange, I'm quoting, revealed truthful, newsworthy information. We firmly believe that Mr. Assange never should have been charged under the Espionage Act and engage in an exercise that journalists engage in every day. End quote. That's what this guy Barry, which is Assange US lawyer, Barry Polak, said. So he's 52 years old, Australian, was released from high security prison in London on Monday afternoon and had already boarded a private jet to leave the United Kingdom before he would even knew of his agreement with his US government. And maybe they just, instead of Australia, they go to Moscow. All right, it says here, I am in fact guilty of the charge, Assange told the court in Saipan. All right, so last article, Julian Assange is back in Australia, a free man. Here's what we know about his US plea deal. So let's find out what they say. So, plead guilty for a single espionage charge in front of a US judge Wednesday and walked free after against extradition to the United States ended in a plea deal. Two controversial figures were released from a British prison on Monday and flew by charter jet to a remote US territory in the Pacific where the official ended 52-year official ended his guilty plea and was released. Now, where is Assange? Assange boarded a flight from London Monday and being released on bail from prison, according to statement on bail. Julian Assange is free, WikiLeaks said. He left Balmarsh maximum security prison. He needed to be maximum security prison, probably so the CIA can't find him. They own it, not the MI6. Oh, and through MI6. MI6 is their bitches, but anyway. On the morning of the 24th of June, after spending 1,901 days there. All right, so it says, under the terms of the agreement, U.S. Justice Department prosecutors sought a 62-month sentence, which is equal to the amount of time Assange served in the United Kingdom while he fought extradition. So they counted that, how do you call it, being locked up over there. They counted that for this. With Assange's It appears that your 62 months imprisonment is fair and reasonable, Judge Ramona Manglona said in her sentencing. You will be able to walk out of this court a free man. Anyway, what did Assange do? Assange was wanted by the US authorities on espionage charges connected to WikiLeaks publication of hundreds of thousands of sensitive military... Okay, I'm not going to spew this propaganda because these guys are like that. This is CNN, remember. And we have here landed in Australia. We're going to find out, and I hope not, that he is going to catch a fast cancer. This is what usually happens. And we find out that he is terminally ill. Why? In prison they have enough time to... get some blood for your medical to see if you're good, and when they put that syringe in, they just take your blood and they test it and so on. My friends, anyway, when you sleep, it's fine as well, where they come and visit and so on. Food, you're fed, and so on. Now, I think that this is my problem with this, and I'm going to talk in general terms. Why? Because I'm not an expert in this. And I'm pretty sure there are some explanations. But I am for the truth. That is, in a court of law. I'm trying to find the truth. So let's say you have here someone who provides you the truth about some possible criminals, people that did some bad stuff. And because that person acquired the information, as these guys say, not kosher, he is prosecuted, not the guys who this guy exposes. So this is imbecilic. I agree that, in the court of law you have to provide the evidence, and there's a clause, I think, that if you acquire information or evidence in an illegal way, that evidence is tossed. But if it's in an illegal way, let's say, but it shows that that person is guilty, you're going to prosecute the guy who illegally did something, but you're not going to prosecute the guy in the first place who these things that they are over there. They just were acquired illegally, and these guys are guilty, and these guys are free. You understand? So okay, you want to prosecute the guy who committed an illegality. I'm all for that if it's an illegality. But then what about the other ones? You just ignore that? So this guy is a criminal, but because the information that proves us that this guy is a criminal, you're not going to consider it. How? I mean, if I would be, let's say, a father of, let's say, a daughter, and the daughter, God forbid, gets by a man, and we can't prove something, and someone brings the evidence that will prove that that guy, walks scot-free, what do you think I will do to that guy? If I know for sure that's the guy. I'm just going to talk to him, you think? Do you think I'm just going to say, well, man, we got the information, but, the law is as, and you go over there. And the defense attorney will be, hey, whoa, I won your case, you rapist. Now, how is that? I understand even the criminals or the alleged criminals or the suspects have rights. I'm all for that. So in this case, I think the problem with Assange was he was punished 15 years or how many years he stayed in confinement and in the whatever the embassy of Ecuadorian embassy and so on, and then in Great Britain, and then and he pleaded guilty. Now let me tell you about my story. I was investigated personally, not investigated like criminal investigation. On a job, they come and try to, we got this, okay, let's talk about it, right? And they couldn't prove anything, but they said, well, this is what we think you did. And I said, well, I didn't do that. And then they tried to strike a deal with me, and I had, the union, they tried to strike a deal. And I said, no, I'm not going to do any deals with anybody because I am not guilty. I'm innocent. If I would have said, yeah, I agree with that, yeah, let's cut a deal. That shows me I'm guilty of anything. No. I'm not guilty of anything. I'm not going to agree to any plea deal here. Nothing, zero. Throw me in jail. Now, it's easier. You see me here like this and talking now, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I haven't been in prison or in Assange boots to say, you know what, no, I'm going to continue living my life in that maximum security prison in London because I have a clean heart. Well, I was allowed to do that because the penalty, they said, blah, 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 it was minor. But I said, you know what? No. All that could have been forgotten. But I said, no, I do not agree to that because I am innocent. I haven't done that. It's okay. They have it over there, and I am a conscience-free person. But Assange, remember, he was under pressure, big pressure. So I don't blame him for doing this, and I'm glad that he escaped only with this. I have two concerns regarding Assange: a quick death and a quick terminal illness. That's all. And they will be just coincidental / accidental, if you know what I mean. Wait for it. And I don't think he's going to be free to come in front of the camera in, let's say, Russia Today or Sputnik and tell us, yeah, these guys are like this, let me tell you this, I'm going to be getting back into the WikiLeaks. I think there's a ton of things that he cannot do. Because if he does, CIA will come and talk to him. All right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Very fantastic news. He is free in Australia, mate. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See ya.